Hello, everyone. I think we're live now. Hi, Heather. How are you
Hi.
today?
Good. I'm Heather. This is Cindy, and we are the Chatty Quilters. So happy to have you on the show joining us tonight. Tonight, we're going to discuss all of, well, maybe not all of them, but some fun trends in the quilting industry, like what's trending. We just got back from market and we got to see all of the new things. We actually didn't get to see all of it because there's so much to see. We didn't get through the whole thing. But before we do that, shout out to the guys. They were amazing. Our
Yes,
cameraman,
we had a couple of epic fails. So we'll just admit our mistakes. Well, we thought we would just be so great at hashtagging and posting and covering it all, especially with the guys' help. We were just so busy, busy laughing a lot. But other than that, we just ran constantly, had so much on our plate. And thanks to everyone that took the time to talk with us at market. It was so much fun. Like, we just couldn't have had more fun. But the guys, oh goodness, they were packing around all the badges. These Chatty Quilter pins, I don't know. They had thousands, like
lots of
bagfuls.
bracelets. It
Mhm.
was great. So shout out
Yeah.
to the guys. The only picture we got of them, you guys, was in front of the statue of David quilt. So I don't know. We might post it someday. We might not.
Oh.
Maybe we
It,
should take a vote. If you're on live and you vote, we should post it. Speak up in the chat.
yeah, I don't know about that one. I was like, oh, but they were fun. They worked so hard for us. They really
They
did. They were
did.
carrying everything. They were just talking to everyone. We left Larry alone in the Starbucks line, and all of a sudden he was showing up with Jennifer from Riley Blake on social media, and
We
they
got
were
us some good
laughing.
future guests, that's for sure. We have some really exciting guests lined up for the next few months.
Yeah.
So let's get started. Um, what do you think? What trends did you notice this year?
Some of the things that, of course, that you and I talked about is, and like we said, we didn't get around several times, so there were certain things that we were focused on, but just not as many clothing items. Like, we used to see kids' clothes and everything. So if we missed something there with designers, give us a shout out or go to our group and post some things. We just didn't. Of course, again, we hadn't been running around market the last couple of years. We had been working. And so we just didn't notice as much of that. But we did notice, some super cute kids' ideas and, as well as beautiful quilts and those things. But what do
Yeah,
you think about that?
I noticed. I agree. I used to. There used to be designer booths with lots of kids' clothes and patterns, and I didn't see a lot of those. But I did see a lot more toweling this year. It seems like toweling is super popular right now, and not just for making towels. There was, they were making pillows and garlands and table runners and all sorts of things out of toweling that I wouldn't have even thought of. They were even putting it in quilts. So that was kind of fun to see so many designers, fabric designers, adding toweling to their lines, which was so fun.
Yeah, just new ideas or things that I hadn't thought about anyway. So all of that was fun to look at as well. We just couldn't get enough of it, right? We traded bracelets, talked to designers, to see what's coming out. Um, so along with that as well, I call it the cheater cloth, right? We saw some of those pre-printed fabrics that looks like it's been pieced, but they were amazing compared to what I, several years back had was familiar with. This was kind of a step up, and I think
Definitely
that
is.
they were great for backs of quilts. They're great for the front if you want it to look like something that you had to put together quick or send to a college dorm as a gift. Those make great gifts for those.
Yeah, and when we say cheater, there's two types of cheater. The printed on, where it looks like a grandmother's flower garden, but it's all just printed. And if you quilt it tightly enough and wash it in hot, it wrinkles up and you can hardly tell it's not hand pieced, right? Well, these cheater cloths were actually sewn together. So they were patchwork quilts, what, 3.5 inch squares, maybe 3 inch squares, sewn together and top stitched by the yard. So literally, plaids, there was like red plaids. This was done by Janelle at Moda, and her her company is my favorite. It's the one with my barnyard fabric, the one I'm doing my farm quilts out of.
What?
We'll put it in the resources
It
since
just
my
left me too. That's
completely
so
blank.
bad. It just left both of us.
She had all the plaids, like all the red plaids pieced together, and then she had gray and black plaids pieced together. So like a college dorm quilt. Oh my goodness, voila. There you go. Stitch in the ditch, like layer those up and stitch in the ditch, and you got it made.
Yeah, especially for people who aren't quilters, right? And they take a look at that and they, yeah, again, I guess you call it cheating, but it's a great way to cheat, right? It looked fantastic. It was just something that I'm sure that we will have in our possession in the future.
Absolutely.
So
Somebody said, Linda said, all of the bright colors she saw in the videos everyone had been posting, there were so many bright colors this year. And also a lot of 2-color quilts that look like they almost could be vintage. And I think I love 2-color quilts, like yellow and white or red and white, blue and white, because sometimes you can't tell. I mean, they age so gracefully. They are timeless, and they look like it's kind of that edge between traditional and modern. They never go out of style. So we did see a lot of those. They were fantastic. A lot of scrappy quilts done with just so many scraps, which is one of my favorite.
Yeah, and yeah, scrappy, it never goes out, right? We're always dealing with scraps, but still, the Modern Guild, Quilt Guild, designated last Saturday as scrap deal with your scraps day. So I wanted to do that, and instead I thought I'd better piece some things. And so I spent my time piecing and ignoring my scraps still. They're still piled up in a big basket or several baskets. So I didn't, I bailed. So, but I've seen some great videos on what to do with your scraps. So I'm going to try some things there too. But you're right. I think the bright colors, as we get out of 2023 and go into 2024, I think we're going to see even more of that. Absolutely.
And Tula leads the way. I mean, everyone was packing around a brand new pink Oliso iron.
The hot pink iron. First of all, hot pink or red, my favorite colors. So, all things hot pink is always a good thing. But I felt like in my social media, in my news feeds, I felt like that was almost the most reposted thing, right? People just couldn't get enough of that hot pink iron, and fair enough. It was great. So
attention was well deserved. It was a very cute iron.
Yeah, and the fabric is fantastic too. So the new fabric line that's out, that's coming out. Okay, so then let's talk about what stood out that just kind of blew your mind, right?
Okay, so I think mine would have to be Caterpillar. Caterpillar mats introduced a new foldable mat. Okay, so you think foldable mat, but they had a prototype there, and as they unfolded this cutting mat, you could not tell where the folds were. You literally couldn't feel them, where the creases were. So this mat like unfolds and it gives you a bigger mat, or it unfolds again and gives you an even bigger mat. So you can pack this thing. It's like what, 18 by, I mean, it was like put in a suitcase and then get to your retreat and unfold it to be like 6 foot by 4 foot. It was insane.
Yeah. So
I was just like completely.
Yeah, and when you're working and you're trimming, we have bigger mats, here at the shop, and then we have smaller ones that you work at on your workstation, right? And I agree. When I looked at it, like, you still think the creases, right? And when it's
Right.
folded out, we were feeling it and we're like thinking about a rotary cutter, like it, you just couldn't find it. You just couldn't
Yeah,
find
like
it. It
something
was,
that's been folded, you would think you'd be able to feel, but you could not
yeah,
feel it. It was
yeah.
unbelievable. I
Perfect
and they made them
thickness.
out of a different material too. They said that
Yeah.
it would take 1,000 times more cuts, and it was some like non-toxic material. So I was really intrigued. I honestly can't wait until QuiltCon. They said they would actually have them ready for people to purchase, and I'm excited because I hate hauling my big mat because then I always leave it in the car, and it's like I worry that it's going to get hot and warp because that's happened to me. So yeah, cold, whatever. So I'm super excited about that mat. I was just gobsmacked.
Well, I agree because it just, I mean, when we thought about all the possibilities, right? For one, it folds up easy to carry. Like you said, it's not going to sit in the back of the car and warp, all the things. And so, so
Mm.
many possibilities. And of course, when they said, oh, we'll have it there at QuiltCon, we were like, think we need to go to QuiltCon in February.
Well, and we were
So,
already planning on going to QuiltCon because that
yeah.
is
Well, that
basically
just
my
kind of
favorite.
pushed us over the edge, right? Reminds us that we're going to see great things there. So now we're
And to
on the
bring
countdown.
extra to start saving and bring some extra suitcases for sure.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because
Um,
you all know we just quit our jobs, so we didn't come home with very much very many what the goods. The
good.
goods that you
Right.
normally bring home from market, all the
Right.
swag,
Right.
the purchases. We didn't really shop. Yeah, because we're both unemployed, so we didn't do much
Well,
of that.
we had already spent money on Chatty Quilter pens and T-shirts and all the things that we were giving away, and all that kind of stuff, which was so
Just
well received and so much fun.
yeah.
Um, so, well, I don't know how long it's been out, but somebody kind of drugged me to the Laura Star booth. And I stood there and watched the demo, which Emily was amazing at, I will say. And wow. And I thought, okay. And, I thought this, isn't going to be a lesser, cost.
How did we not know about this?
I
That's
don't know. I felt like after I left that booth, where had I been under a rock, did I just
that's what I
not know what this was? But again, as women hesitate and they're like, oh, the cost of things. However, Larry and Doug, watched the demo and everything, and Larry has not stopped thinking about the Laura Star. Like
when
he
your
is.
husband's dreaming about a new
Oh
iron.
my
I
gosh.
mean, you
Oh my
got to
gosh,
get
he
it.
wants that system so bad. So now all of a sudden you come back and you have a regular iron, an ironing board, and it just doesn't seem the same.
Doesn't
But
cut the
that
mustard.
it looked like magic. I mean, it was
Well,
just
so for those of you who had never heard of it, because I had never heard of it before market, it is the coolest iron steam system that doesn't spit. So you press a quilt block and it is like flat. Like you can press open seams in 2 seconds and they just stay. And I was just like, wow. Not only that, the ironing board has a fan in it. So it cools. It's like 500 degrees and then instantly cool and dry. So it's like, holy smokes. It blew my mind. It really did. I'm saving my pennies for that one. I need to save a lot of pennies because we found those were probably my two favorite things, honestly.
okay. So I was reading a comment, and Courtney from the Quilted Cow at Raymore is there. I want to give her a quick shout out because Larry was there. He had to go to the city today, and he stopped by. I only heard great things, and she sent. I forgot to tell you about this other. She sent me a book, her book, A Quilt with My Mother. I just thank you so much. That was
Oh,
so kind, Courtney.
that's so sweet.
Larry just said everybody there was amazing, so I'm just going to give a shout out to her there. Thank you for the book. I that was great. So
That's fun. Okay, Linda has a Laura Star iron and said they're awesome. So
Linda Naylor, you have a Laura Star. You've been
I'm
holding
jealous.
out on me.
Yeah,
I did
I'm
not know
jealous.
that about Linda Naylor. I have some questions for her. So
Yeah, they are quite something else. I've never seen anything like it. So it was fun. I think one of my favorite booths though to stop in was when we ran into the girls at the Best Press booth.
Yes,
Don't you
and
think?
and kind of another failed on our part. Doug actually did a video, and the Beehive Girls, Beehive Quilt Shop at Wellington, Kansas, joined us, and then all of a sudden we were doing the video in the Best Press booth. We were laughing so hard, and it was great. So we will post that tomorrow. It's
I
been
feel
on
like we
Doug's
should
phone.
I feel like we should post a disclaimer first. Like, it was the end of day 3. We were super silly, maybe sleep deprived, possibly
We were
over-caffeinated.
we had sniffed Best Press since like we had our I don't know what was wrong with us, but it was crazy. So
So, you've been warned. If you hold out for the whole 6-minute video, you've been warned. We
right.
were being so silly.
So our favorite, the new lavender time, we just couldn't get our nose out of.
That was
We absolutely love it. And I was really sad I couldn't get gallons of this at the
yeah.
time. And then, but it smells amazing. And then the frankincense and myrrh, I'm not sure. You said kind of sandalwood.
Yeah, that was the one I might have made a comment about Doug bathing in it. I don't know. I love sandalwood, so when I smelled it, I was like, "Ooh, yum." I love massage oils that have sandalwood in them, so it reminded me of that. You were in a spa, the spicy kind of spa smell.
And then the citrus grove, of course, is fresh and citrusy, and it smells good too. And of
I
course, I
told the
have.
girls, I have for the last like 2 decades almost spritzed my pillowcase with lavender best press and ironed it before I changed my pillowcase, and it is a life game changer. I mean, game changer. Seriously, it's my one guilty pleasure that I just, oh, it's so
Okay,
good.
I thought, why didn't I ever think of that? Like all of us standing there when you said that in the video, we were like, of course, lavender best press, pressure pillowcase, that would
That's
be
nice of you.
amazing. That would be
Yeah.
so I haven't tried that yet, but I plan on it.
We used to go to a quilt retreat in Bear Lake, Utah, where she would press all the sheets, and they were so. I mean, it made me want to press my sheets. Have I ever done it? No, but I'm telling you, if I was independently wealthy, I would hire someone to come
Or
press
just a pressure sheet and spray
and
lavender best
spread
press
them with
on it,
lavender
right?
press. I
Yeah,
would.
I want to be the person who presses my sheet. No, I've never had time
I
for that
mean,
or never like made time. We should
it's an
try it once.
aspiration. It's an aspiration of mine. It may happen one day. It may not. I don't know. I'm not
Okay,
gonna
next time you visit and stay with me, I'm gonna have the sheets pressed.
Woohoo!
Okay, I
I'll
promise I
take
will do that.
lavender time. Lavender time is just like lavender
Right?
time.
Okay, done, done. Although, if I was thinking about this, if because we have company in town, hunters. It's hunting season,
Oh
right?
yeah.
My house gets to smelling like fresh earth, docent, and all those things. And I thought, can you imagine hunters picking best press scents? It
Oh
would be, oh my gosh, that'd be a whole nother world right there, right?
yeah. Don't they have like deer urine or
Yeah,
something?
it's
Yeah.
hunting season.
Let's
I'll
not
just
let
leave
them.
that there.
But I'll tell you, the Best Press ladies did ask us what flavors we would like to see. So here's
Yes.
our chance, girls and guys. Whatever Best Press flavor you would like to see, pipe in now. In fact, we should do a poll on our Facebook of what flavors, and then we can take a vote and take it back to the Best Press girls and be like, listen, this is what they want. The
Yeah.
smell of fall. What is the smell of fall? Like leaves. Oh, like apples and cinnamon.
No, that's from a hunter. That
That's okay.
was
Deer
his
spray.
polite version, right?
Bear spray. What is that earth? So you smell like the earth? Is that
Yeah,
what they're
fresh
talking about?
earth. They have fresh earth
Okay.
wafers that get left in my
Shit.
house. Oh,
That's just rude. That's just rude. Sharon says rose and patchouli. Patchouli, is that how you say that? I grew up in Idaho. I do not know what patchouli is.
oh. Where are you, Heather? It doesn't look like you're at home.
I'm bringing this from Idaho, y'all. I am not home. I flew to Idaho today. I'm at my parents' house. You can probably see the Hanson family tree in the background. So my mom's sitting here. I just had to mute and tell him, be quiet in there. The whole world can hear you.
Well, that just keeps it interesting. We're okay. I already said
You
hello
know,
to
when
your
old people get deaf, they think they're whispering. No, I'm kidding. They're not that old.
mom.
But,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
so
so send us your best ideas for the best press scent. What else?
I couldn't even think of one. I'm like, I mean, I don't know.
No, we just kind of went blank.
We
We're like,
just went
I
blank
don't
because
know.
literally the lavender thyme is so good. I was just
It
thinking, how
is.
can you beat that? Like, how can
That's
you
what,
improve on that?
absolutely.
They already have a citrus, which I love. Lasagna, Larry, gross.
Lasagna.
I'd just be hungry all the time. I even thought sugar cookies, but then I thought that would just make me want to eat sweets while I was
Well,
like trying to sew.
in all fairness, he's home and I'm here, so he hasn't had dinner yet. So there's that. Um,
Poor guy.
yeah. Hello, Georgia. Well, we came back from market, and then all of a sudden it's November 7th, right? I mean, so I had a little bit of a panic moment of, oh, wow, Christmas is like next month. I just like October just went quickly, and then all of a sudden, oh, Vicky Witsit said Cindy needs Starbucks scent. You are correct, Vicky. You are
Okay,
correct.
that's
I did.
funny.
Yeah, that's great.
You'd
That's
be
great.
like, we'd be like, did he just steal that? He'd be I was gonna pick up the quilt. I had my dad's quilt here so I could show you all. And apparently he walked in and wondered why his quilt was on the floor because it's his favorite quilt, and he promptly took it back into his room. So I was gonna pick it up and be like, Cindy, why does this quilt smell like coffee? I was gonna share with you that my dad is a very particular about fabrics, how they feel. And so, and he really likes puffy batting. So when I opened my quilt store, he came in the first time and he saw all these quilts with cotton batting, and they were in, browns. It was in 2008, so browns and earth tones were really in. And he looked around and he was like, you know, I just don't like any of these quilts. And I thought, okay. So come to find out, he really loves silky cotton. So Moda makes a line of silky cottons almost all the time. They have something. And so I made him a quilt out of silky cottons with wool batting because it's kind of puffy. And he wore the thing out. It took him about 3-4 years, 5 years maybe. He wore it out and he brought it to me all raggedy, like, like a toddler's blanket that dragged around, because he took it on vacation. He took it everywhere. And so he's like, can you fix this? And I was like, sure. And so instead, I actually put whole cloth on the front and back and just requilted it, I think. And then he wore that one out. So I think we're on quilt number 4, and I would show it to you, but it got carted away. My mom's going to go get it so I can show it to you.
Well,
But he always knows that he can use it and abuse it and wear it out and take it everywhere, because I'll just make him another one when it wears out. That's what we do, right?
but that's the perfect compliment, right? Is when
Yes.
somebody uses it and loves it so much.
And a quilt that's loved doesn't have to be a lot of work. This is 6-inch or maybe even bigger squares, and quilted super simple. So it's not like it took forever to make it, but he
Oh,
loves
that's
it.
great. I love the quilting on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very masculine. That's diagonal plaid is that pattern. I love it for masculine quilts. It's great.
Linda
Oh,
Naylor wants to
let's
hear
hear
about
it.
some of the
Let's hear
stuff.
it. I want to hear about it too.
Well, there's not a whole, everybody's talked about stopping at the Moda Warehouse, when you're in Texas or going to market or back. And so we had never done that. So we stopped, and Larry had no budget apparently, but he filled up. We only posted a picture of one shopping cart of the grunge, but we just need all the grunge colors.
Everyone
So
needs all the grunge.
yeah,
You know what you should do?
if they would have had them all in stock, we would have came home with all the grunge colors.
Okay, would you cut like 1-yard bundles of grunge and sell them, please?
Mhm.
That would be so fun. You could do like 5 different colors and use paint palettes from Home Depot and make fun color combos and just sell these packs of 5 yards, a yard of each. Then we could all stock up and we could all own every color of grunge because we don't want a whole bolt, right? We
Oh,
just need a yard of each.
Yeah, it's hard to keep it in stock. I mean,
It could
grunge,
be a series, like a series of, each month you'll buy one set, and then after a year you have all the grunges. I'm in. I'll do it.
we need all the grunge in our life. It never
Steven,
goes out of style.
get on it. So Steven is Cindy's son who runs the quilting studio.
Yeah.
So I'm telling him publicly that that's a good idea and he should do it.
Put that out there. So
putting that out there because he's listening. I know he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so there was nothing more other than Larry bought a lot of grunge. A lot of it has flown off the shelves already. I keep thinking that I need to grab some of it for my stash, but we'll get more. We'll get more. So
definitely. So are you going to get your quilt finished for Christmas?
Did you see what's behind? Yeah. So instead of working on my scraps Saturday, I said, there is nothing like putting out there in the world that you're going to work on a quilt and then not having anything to show every week. So I've been piecing. It's not in the right order, but I have 2 rows done. And so I am convinced I will have it done, quilted and bound before Christmas.
Perfect.
So, and yeah, I told Stephen maybe by Thanksgiving, but that seems awful close right now.
It really does. If I would stop starting new projects, I might get something done by the end of the year. I probably should do my list of, I used to be so good about that. I love little notebooks, and I would take a little notebook and I would list all my UFOs. So I knew at the end of the year how many quilts I had completed. And now I'm just I've just been lucky to sew. So I haven't even kept track, and I need to get my act together.
That's one thing I would like to know, who keeps track of all the quilts that they've completed over the years. I have not. I'm like you. I started taking pictures at the beginning and then have lost track. So I couldn't tell you how many quilts I've made.
I wish I would have kept track.
Yeah.
If you're a beginning quilter, keep track.
Right.
Take a picture, have a tally, make a paper chain, whatever it takes. Just keep track of all the quilts you make. How many? You have to have a number. I've made 500 quilts.
And put labels on them. Yeah. And put labels in the back.
Keep track. Put labels on them. That's a good idea. Marla wants to know if Moda only shops, the shop sale is wholesale. And yes, it is. Mm-hmm. You have to have a business to get into Moda to shop at their warehouse. But it is fun and dangerous.
Yes. And it looked like Quilt Festival was a lot of fun. We didn't get to stay for festival, but everybody that's been posting pictures, that looked like a lot of fun. It looked like quilters spent a lot of money at festival, so that's always good news. Stimulate the economy.
And as usual, the quilts were fantastic. They really were. I mean, you guys have seen them. Everyone's posting, and they were just as amazing as always. Yeah. I do have a goal, and I'm gonna put it out publicly so that I have to do it. Ready? Are you ready for this? Okay. I'm going to submit a quilt for QuiltCon 2025.
Okay.
It's a semi-original design because it's kind of a collaboration with someone who gave me permission to use a piece of art that has nothing to do with quilting to make this quilt. So I'm so excited about it. That's all I can tell you. It's 2-color. Great. And it's going to take me 1,000,000 years. No.
So you're starting tomorrow?
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm starting January 1st, and I'm going to work on it all year. I'm going to do a little bit every night, because how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Right. That's right.
And I'm going to enter it. So QuiltCon 2025. I might win. I'm just warning you all.
Yeah, you might.
It's pretty cool.
All right. I can't wait to see it. So you're going to have one quilt on your list for 2024 that you're going to work on. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right. Yes. Yes. I mean, I have ADD, so I might have to take a break from it and bust out a weekend quilt and then go back to it, because I'm going to get really bored of those same, 2 colors. And it's pretty much like a postage stamp, mosaic. So it's going to get a little snoozer.
Yeah. Heather doesn't have as long of a, she mentioned this today when we talked. I had watched a video for 47 minutes, and she said, "Oh my goodness, how could you have lasted that long?" And I said, "Well, it has to be worth it. It has to be something interesting." So she said, "Oh no, I can't hang in there that long." So she has to watch short clips, and
I said
um,
that's why we're perfect together, because she can watch the long YouTube videos that help us to make our
she's like,
podcast better, and I
"Just
can go out
summarize it
and
for me. Give me a summary."
yes, yes, yes.
Well, I'm going to work on my list before the first of the year on what I want to make. Of course, I've got 2 quilts to finish. So we'll see how we go on that.
So
Um,
make your list and post them in the group. Let's see your lists. That'll be fun. I'll make
yeah,
mine.
post them in our group so you too can be accountable and then
Yes.
your progress and all. Yeah, put it out there for hundreds to see, and
Yes,
it
and then
will
who knows,
inspire.
maybe 6 months down the road we'll be like, "Hey Vicky, how is your grandmother's flower garden coming along?" And you'll be like, "Oh, I forgot about that."
Yeah, I don't know what Marla and Linda and Vicky. I kind of know what Georgia's been working on, but we'll have to see some of these projects. So,
Yeah, I saw
um,
some nice Raspberry Kiss blocks show up in the
yeah,
group.
our
Not as
group.
many as I thought, but couple of you made some really nice Raspberry Kiss blocks, so good job.
Yeah, I need to do that
Looking
as
good.
well. So,
All right. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We're super excited about next week.
we are.
And my ADD, it just left me. What we're gonna, do you remember what we just talked about?
Well, yes, I do
Oh,
because
good.
my memory. I jot notes all the time. If you could see my desk, there's a pile of notes all the time. Really, what we want ideas for Christmas gifts. Like we know that you make all different kinds of creative things, and we would like for you to share those with us in the group or on our page, and so we can just kind of get some new ideas for us and for others too,
Yeah.
because we don't know everything. I haven't made everything, and
I have
so
a few fun things I made in the past that I'll share. And then, of course, at the end, we'll do a resource page with the tutorials for all of the projects we share.
right.
So, and on the group, you can share tutorials if you used one or patterns you purchased and where to get them so that we can all kind of get a head start in November on our
Because
Christmas gifts.
I'm convinced they already have theirs done, that they're
I
not
know.
like me. They're not waiting to the last couple of days, right? They've already got them done. I talked to somebody today that had started Christmas shopping a couple of months ago. I couldn't have told you what month it was a couple of months ago. So props to you all. Help us out, share what you're working on, what you've already created for Christmas gifts.
Yeah, fun
And
neighbor gifts.
yeah, yeah. And
All
then
right.
we'll see you next week, next Tuesday night.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye bye.